Welcome to the Enlightenment Academy, where the journey of discovering your inner magic begins. In a world filled with endless possibilities, we invite you to explore the depths of your being and unlock the mysteries of your true potential. Through insightful teachings, transformative practices, and enlightening conversations, we empower you to access the brilliance that resides within you. Join us as we embark on a path of self-discovery, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. Are you ready to tap into the infinite wellspring of magic within you? Here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, amazing people. How are you today? Thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. I am really looking forward to today's topic. It's one that's become very near and dear to my heart. And as a matter of fact, we even have a comment that right out of the gate says, "Thank you, my father is on a spiritual journey. It's voluntary, but I've been trying to support him." I think that's a really great place to start because there are quite a few people going through an awakening right now. And I believe personally that it's just going to get greater. There's just going to be more. And as we have more and more people awakening, there's going to be more and more people who don't understand, right? And I created a Facebook group it's called Accessing Other Realms, Empowering Psychic Mediums. And it really is for people who are on a spiritual journey, not necessarily only people who are psychic mediums, but people who are having some sort of awakening and don't know what's going on. I created that because when I first became a clairvoyant medium 22 years ago now, it pretty much happened overnight. I was not expecting it. As a matter of fact, I didn't want it. I was given the gift and then I resisted it for 3 years. But I was alone. I didn't really feel like I had support. I definitely didn't feel like I could tell anybody in my community, right? Because I was afraid everybody would think I was crazy. Everybody would think I was weirder than I already was. I mean, my name is Venus, and I was born with that name, and I was teased a lot as a kid. What rhymes with Venus? You're welcome. So it was just like I was already made fun of and teased a lot as a kid. So growing up, it was like I didn't want to be weird. So I was just like, I'm always going to play the middle of the road. I'm always going to be normal. I tried to be average, just the same as everybody else. I was also like, I was never too popular, but I was also never too, never one of the kids that didn't fit in, but I was friends with all of them, right? I was friends with those popular kids. I was friends with the kids that weren't popular. And I did that for a couple of reasons. I know for me as a kid, that was probably like the safest route to choose, right? So if you didn't stand out too much, you weren't too weird, then you wouldn't get made fun of too much, right? Or picked on too much. But I also recognized from a very young age that everybody is special and everybody is unique. Everybody has a very different path in this world. And if we could look at each other, our brothers and sisters, our fathers, our mothers, not even just blood, but like if we could look at each other without judgment, without a point of view, without a fear of the unknown, and we could just be grateful for them. We could just appreciate who they are and what they're here to gift this world. You are unique. You all are. Whether you feel like you're spiritually gifted or not doesn't matter. You're still unique. And you are gifted, even if you haven't tapped into it yet. Just a little side note. But if you could just be willing to be as unique as you are and let everybody else be as unique as they are, what a kinder, gentler, more inclusive world we could live on, right? Like, what if we didn't judge anyone for anything? The definition of consciousness is consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. What if we could have more of an inclusive community, an inclusive world? We definitely wouldn't be fighting any wars, would we? But more than that, we'd all feel like we belonged. And truthfully, whether somebody's hateful or violent, or I once had a teacher say that there's two types of people in the world. There's those that are, or not types of people, but two types of expression in the world. So there are people that are expressing love, and there are those people that are calling for love. So if you could look at every action that somebody does, all of their actions, and just see them as, is this an expression of love or a call for love? Might we actually see each other differently, even if somebody is being angry with you or blaming you for something, or right? Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a doormat. Please don't believe that. I don't believe you have to be a doormat. But it is different when you can see what somebody is actually pulling for or asking for or requesting from you. And if we didn't have this like resistance and reaction to what everybody was saying all the time or doing, right? And we could just be like, oh, is this an expression for love or a call for love? And I don't know about you, but I know for me, I have a lot more compassion for people when they're angry or frustrated or lashing out, because I know that they're just calling for love. They're just desiring to have somebody recognize them, that community, that place to belong, right? I once had a friend, I still have a friend, but she did this thing once, and I might have shared this story before, but it still touches me so much. There was this woman in town that was really angry, and everybody always saw her as angry, and they're like, don't get close to her, she just lashes out. And my friend happened to walk by her on the street one day, and instead of crossing the street like most people did, most people crossed the street so they didn't have to deal with her anger or whatever, she just walked up to her and she said, can I give you a hug? And that woman hugged her back and then told my friend that no one had ever hugged her ever in her entire life. So I think it's important to remember that we often don't know where people come from, right? Like, can you imagine not ever getting a hug ever in your life? If you're somebody who's never had a hug in your life, I am so sorry. And next time you see me, I will give you a hug. Because that's happening, right? There's things happening out there that aren't great for people. So of course they're going to be angry and lash out and sad and hurt and hurtful, right? Because people will always, often they'll blame you for what they themselves are doing, or they'll repeat patterns from what they've had from childhood. Often parents who abuse are people who were already abused. Now, I'm not justifying abuse, but I'm saying, hey, we don't know where people come from. And if we can help them heal their heart and heal their abuse, I wonder what that would ripple out and affect all of their family members and others around them, right? So I really try my best, and I don't always do a great job, but I really do my best to not judge anyone for anything from where they're coming from, because I don't know. I really don't know. And I also, in this Facebook group I have, it's a safe place for people who have spiritual gifts, and everybody's spiritual gifts shows up differently than everybody else's, right? So again, I don't judge. I don't make them wrong or me right, or make like some spirituality is right and some things are wrong. And no, consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. So who am I to say that somebody's spiritual journey, whatever is showing up for them, is true or not true? I don't get to make that call. I don't get to make that judgment. But I know judgment it's pervasive, right, in this world. And I really am an advocate for how can we change judgment, not just outside in our communities and not just with our families, but also within ourselves, because we're also all of our worst critic. I know I'm my own worst critic, and you are your own worst critic. Right? So how do we stop judgment? Well, something I say often, and just a reminder, judgment and gratitude cannot exist in the same place. So if you can find something, let's say somebody's lashing out at you or they're blaming you for something. If you can find something that you're grateful for about them, you can diffuse judgment. You can. Now, I'm not saying, again, please, no, I'm not saying that now you have to go and let them run over you. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is, like, what if you can just be like, wow, that's a call for love. I'm grateful that I can now recognize that they are calling for love right now. That's a big deal, right? Because then you don't have to react. You don't have to respond. You can just be like, wow, that's a call for love. Maybe, only if it's safe, you might be like, can I give you a hug? And I wonder what that might create for them and you. And then that's what you do individually, right? You could do that with your family. You could do that with your father. I think that's cute. Kelsey, right? Like supporting him, not judging him, not making him wrong, even if it doesn't make sense to you, because it's not, most people's journey is not going to make sense, but then also just being grateful for him, grateful that he's willing to share with you. Some people have spiritual experiences that they don't feel safe sharing with anyone. So if you are somebody that can, yes, welcome, you're very welcome. If you're somebody who can be there for somebody without a point of view, without a judgment, what a gift that would be. And then think about all of the people that have been there for you without a point of view, that have been there and had your back. Even if whatever you were saying didn't make sense to them, they were still there for you. They still listened. They still gave you a hug. And how much more do you feel contributed to when you can contribute that to others? It's a pretty cool thought, huh? And again, I can just see the ripple effect of if we could just stop judging each other and stop making each other wrong for whatever our beliefs are, whatever our abilities are, whatever our language is, whatever our skin color is. Like, if we could just let go of all of the judgment, what a beautiful world it could be. So looking at with every person that you're in relationship with, or maybe you're trying to build a community, can you build a community where everyone is welcome and nothing is judged? Can you have a family where everything is welcome and nothing is judged? Could we have school systems where everyone is welcome and nothing is judged? I guess there might not be A's and F's then. But I do see that there's probably a possibility of empowering our children more. Maybe that's a different episode. We can talk about it at a later date. But that willingness to just be like, okay, how can I empower my kids? How can I empower others to know that they're not alone and that they're not crazy? That's a really great question. I wonder what that would be like. I often think of a world like that, where we could walk down the street and just know that our neighbor needed a hug and give our neighbor a hug instead of, talking about the weather. Not to say talking about the weather is bad. I don't have a judgment about that either, but I just can see that there's this whole other possibility if we really want to start being community catalysts and building a golden future, building a new future that is unlike anything that we've ever had, at least in the last few thousand years. Maybe Lumerians and stuff like that had it, but I don't know. I don't have the memory of cognitively being there. I'm pretty sure I probably was, but right? What was Lemuria like? What was that community like before it fell as well? And what caused the fall? Have you ever thought about that? Like, what caused these societies to fall? It could have been global annihilation, sure. Or was it something else? Was there something else that got instituted, or maybe they started to pick up judgment and right and wrong? But what if there is no right or wrong? There is just choice. What if there is nothing to judge? I had another mentor once. So I don't know about you, but I came from a religious background. And the religious background was no sex before marriage. And so I wouldn't say that I adhered to that rule at a younger age. However, I will say that I felt guilty for every time that I had sex outside of marriage. And then I recommitted myself and decided, okay, I'm going to wait till I'm married to have sex. And then I had a mentor and we were talking about it, and I was in a relationship. And I said, we're waiting until we get married to have sex. And he said, God does not condemn because God does not judge. And instantly out of my mouth came, of course not. I knew instantly. It was like somebody turned on a light bulb. God is not judging. My God is not judging. I'm not saying that you have to believe in what I believe at all. Wow, I'm going all sorts of places I never thought I'd go today. At the same time, I know that what I believe in does not judge. And so who am I to judge? Right? I think it's a human ability, a human trait, as you will, to judge or to be judged. And we're taught it from a very young age, right? This is right, that's wrong. This is right, that's wrong. Do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. Like that, we're taught that from a very young age. So we're spending, and I did this for a very long time, trying not to get anything wrong, trying to do it all right, trying to be perfect in the very perfect way. And then to only find myself going, why am I judging myself all the time and making myself wrong. And like, I'm trying to fit into this perfect box. And by the way, there is no perfect box. Like, perfection doesn't actually exist. So it's made up so that we have something to judge ourselves against. Yay! We have something to judge ourselves against. That's so great. So the recognition that maybe you're not as messed up as you think you are, or that you were taught to believe. You're definitely not crazy. You're definitely not alone. And there are communities out there, spiritual communities, that have your back. It's just a matter of finding them. And maybe for you, it's, I don't know, finding a yoga studio that speaks to your soul, or finding a home times community, right, of like-minded individuals, or joining a Facebook group like Accessing Other Realms, where you can just be you and not have to be some modified best version of you. And then another little trick that I like to say, that if you're like trying to create a spiritual community or trying to have this connection and this space of like-minded individuals, today's little trick: listen. Try to be interested instead of being interesting. Ever notice when somebody is talking about themselves all the time, how uninteresting it seems? But if you are willing to ask people about themselves, everybody wants to talk about themselves. If you're willing to be interested, they will talk to you for hours. Now, I'm saying genuinely interested. Don't be like, I'm asking them about them, but I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say next. Also kind of hard to create a community of like-minded individuals when you're always thinking about what you're going to get or what you can take, right? What if you were just interested in people without a point of view, without a judgment? You were just genuinely intrigued, curious about each person you meet. Trust me, you'll learn some pretty cool things about everybody. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to ask people questions about themselves and get them sharing cool stories that I would not have known otherwise. And if you're like me, believe it or not, I don't talk a lot in social areas. I talk a lot for classes and talk a lot for radio shows and stuff like that. But when I'm in like social settings, I am usually the person that's asking a lot of questions and not talking a lot. But like I said, I really enjoy getting to know people, and I really enjoy just, you will find some really unique, amazing, miraculous, beautiful stories if you can just be interested. And that being interested is such a gift to your community, your internal community, the smaller community, maybe your family, your core family people, but then also to the greater community that is all around. I wonder what that world could be like. I am very excited to say that after this break, we are going to go into visualizing your community and what would you like your spiritual community to be like. We will also be meeting some of the community, your spiritual team that hangs out with you all the time and is one of your core family spiritual community members. And also, what would you like your community to be like? I wonder where we will go. See you very soon.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
I'm actually really touched by that commercial because it's really just what we were just talking about, right? Walking a mile in somebody else's shoes. What a beautiful, beautiful message. So for those of you who are somewhere, hopefully you're not driving. So if you're somewhere, you can close your eyes. I definitely recommend closing your eyes. Closing your eyes just allows you to tune out the rest of the world. It's easy for me to get distracted by birds and animals and the wind. So closing your eyes just allows you to just tune in and be present with you here and now in this moment. Nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to be doing. And hopefully you can just take the time to just do this visualization with me. We'll start by beginning to feel our feet on the floor and the earth beneath our feet. Feel whatever your hands are resting upon. You can do a regular rest your hands, or you could do the Gayatri Mudra, which is palm up, index and thumb finger over the other hand, resting on top of it, placing that in your lap. And breathe. Let yourself just become present to this moment right here, right now. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Letting your body relax. And if you have thoughts that come, allow them to just float by like clouds in the big blue sky of your mind. You don't need to understand them or control them or try to stop them. Just let them float by. Let them come and go. And bring your awareness back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. And then I want you to just see yourself in a calm, safe place. Maybe it's one of your favorite places to be. It could be anywhere. It could be indoors or outdoors. Maybe you have a garden. Maybe you have a meditation room. Maybe you just like your favorite chair that you sit in at the end of your day. Just allow yourself to enjoy being in that calm, safe place and relax. And relax some more. And take down your deepest barriers, even the ones you don't know about. Push them down, pull them down, destroy and uncreate them. And as the walls come down, as the barriers come down, allow your consciousness, your awareness to expand out. Expand out 100,000 miles in all directions. Remembering that you are calm and you are safe in your calm, safe place. And breathe. And as you expand your awareness out, allow yourself to become intimately aware of your spiritual team. These are your spirit guides. Maybe there's some angels in there, archangels. Maybe there's some earth keepers or nature spirits. Just become aware of the spiritual team that is here to support you. This is your community, your inner circle, if it were. Just a few, maybe a lot, of spiritual beings here to have your back. Maybe you see them, you can imagine seeing them. Maybe you just feel them. Maybe you hear them. However they show up for you is perfect for you. You will never be given anything that you cannot handle. So if you can see them but not hear them, maybe it's because hearing them is not quite okay in your psyche yet. Or maybe you feel them because you can't see or hear them yet. Again, there is no right or wrong here, good or bad. It's just the way that they show up for you. But maybe you perceive a number. How many of them are there? And again, there's no right or wrong number, just whatever number you get. And do you have an awareness of who those beings are? Maybe you perceive their energy. Maybe you know their names. You don't have to know names. They'll give us names because we tend to like names and be attached to names, but it's not necessary. They're just an energy that's here for you. They're here for the good, the bad, and the ugly. They're here for everything. And just say hi. If you'd like to get them to know them more, you can do that. Maybe you do that at a later date where you can sit down with each one and maybe journal or free form write or just have a meditation, quiet your space so that you can have a conversation with each one. And you can get to know them. You can be interested in them as well. Where are they from? Why are they here? What are they here to help you with, contribute to? What would they like to contribute to you? And allowing yourself to just get to know them. And how they would like to show up for you. One thing I know about spirit guides and your spiritual team is that they will never interfere with your life because you have free will. What they will do, though, is help you when you ask for contribution. They will contribute to you gladly if only you ask. And they are saying that you don't just have to ask for contribution when something is not going well. You can also ask for contribution when things are going well and you'd like them to get better. You can ask them for anything. It's like going to an ice cream shop and asking for 1 scoop of ice cream. If you would like 2 flavors, you could ask for 2 flavors. You could ask for 2 scoops. If you want 3 scoops, you could ask for 3 flavors. Did you know that you could even ask for 1 scoop in 3 flavors? I bet you didn't know that. The point is, you can ask for anything. The universe is happy to gift you anything that you ask for. You just ask. And then let the who, the what, the when, and the where, and the how, let the universe handle those things. And then you receive. Doesn't mean you're not in action in your life or doing things, but there's some energy that you can just be to allow those things that you ask for to come to you. So this inner circle of your community, your spirit guides, are here with you all the time. Many of them, if not all of them, have been with you from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And you can connect with them at any point. They are always here for you. They are always willing to listen. And guess what? They will never judge you. They will never make you feel crazy or alone. As a matter of fact, I will put in this little caveat. If you have a negative voice in your head, it is not your spiritual team and it is not you. So you can just fire that energy, tell that energy to go away. Because your spiritual team will always empower you and uplift you. They will always encourage you, never judge you, and never make you feel less than. Oftentimes, the feelings of being less than is something that we were taught as children, that we learned from our parents. Some of us were abused as children, and that made us wrong. We made ourselves wrong for being abused and made ourselves like if we had only done something different. But if you can look at it the way that we were talking about a half hour ago, was every person that abuses was abused, and they learned that was the way, and they have not learned that there is another way. But you have a possibility and opportunity here to do something completely different. You can break the chain because you know that it's a choice and that you don't have to be that way. So just remembering negative voices are never you inside your head. And I want you to just allow that energy awareness of your spiritual team. And we're going to see this energy coming down from the heavens, from the sky, into the crown of their heads and out their hearts. And then that energy pours in through your heart. That you can always draw upon for more energy, for resources, for knowledge, for hope, for trust. But I want you also to get intimately aware of this energy of community that has your back, no matter what. Community that would never talk down to you or never be negative with you, but always empowering and uplifting. And then I want you to allow yourself to expand your awareness beyond your spiritual team. And as you expand beyond your spiritual team, begin seeking out that energy of community, that energy of connection that is like your spiritual team, that has the same energetic vibration, the same energy signatures. And then see this energy from the heavens, from the sky, come down through the crown of their heads, out their hearts. Pull that energy all the way through your heart. And then allow that energy to trickle back so that you're creating this energetic connection that helps you find each other. Maybe some of them are already in your life. That's wonderful. And allow yourself to go farther out. Where are those beings with and without bodies that desire to be part of your community, that desire to have a connection and a communion with you? Allowing yourself to just pull that energy through the crown of their heads, through their hearts, through your heart, out the back, and letting that energy trickle back to them. So the next time you see each other, you recognize each other. You know. And as we have this energy flowing, in a circle between us and them. Just becoming aware of the ease, the calmness, the communion, the remembrance, remembering a time when you were connected with them before, maybe, or remembering what it's like to have a true spiritual community that no matter what and no matter who you are or what you're choosing, they'll have your back. No matter how different you are, how weird you are, this whole community has your back. And maybe allow yourself to float in and out of some vision of what's it like with this community? What do you do with this community? Are you on retreats together? Do you do events together and grow together? Or do you just have coffee and give each other a hug? Or maybe there's a writing something to each other, supporting each other. But again, just remembering that you now have this energetic vibration that sends out a frequency in all directions, inviting that same energetic vibration of community to come to you. Visualize yourselves dancing together, having fun together, painting together, playing together. What would life be like with this community of like-minded individuals? How would you connect? How would you play? Or would you just have those people that you can talk to for hours about anything and everything, knowing that you wouldn't be judged for all the crazy stuff that's happened to you or all the crazy stuff that you've experienced? And you'd find out that they had gone through similar crazy things too. Would you play games together? Would you celebrate every day together? What if every day was a celebration of life and living that you could experience with your community every day? You could hold birthdays every day. Every day is a reason to have a birthday. Every day is a holiday. Right? If your point of view creates your reality and you desire to have a community where you grow spiritually together you support one another, you have each other's backs, then start to believe it to be true. Because anything is possible. And just having these visions, this visualization, or maybe even today, more of a vision quest, where you see it in your mind's eye, where you imagine it, where you feel it with every fiber of your being, where you know a different possibility exists on earth with people you know and people you don't know. But there is something else possible here. And if we could just start to imagine it, to see it, to find it, to have our little pockets of community here and there that grow with people, more and more people joining it, that grow with support, that grow with laughter and fun. Have you ever noticed how the people that you're having fun with and laughing with are the people you want to hang out with the most anyway? So what if you could just have a whole bunch more people that you laughed with and had fun with? And just a little side note, happiness heals the planet. So your joy, your laughter, your happiness heals the planet. What would it take to have more of that with everyone and everything around you? And just allow this knowing that your kindred spirits, those that you've been seeking, are also seeking you. And that you can have that connection that you've longed for so long. That you can have that community. And you can start building it yourself right here, right now, by being grateful for all the people who are in your life. Even if they're painful relationships, be grateful for whatever you're learning. And then be grateful for the knowledge that your spiritual team and others like your spiritual team have your back and will always, always be here for you, no matter what. They don't go away if you stop talking to them. Your spiritual team, that is. They'll still be here. So go ahead and maybe rub your hands together. Start to slowly bring yourself back to this present moment. Maybe opening your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take another deep breath in and deep breath out. And allow yourself to trust that all these tiny energetic tendrils have been sent out in all directions. And allowing yourself to draw in the community that you've always been asking for. And finding gratitude for the people that are in your life now, for whatever they bring. And maybe even the fur babies and whatever they bring. That's Treasure. She had to say hello. She's part of my community. So, well, I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you for those of you who've been here, listening and watching now and in the future. And we will have another episode next week. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.